Good morning, Stampers. It's Elizabeth from StampScrapAndMore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. And this is the third in the series of the Sailing Home class. I had done a virtual VIP class for my customers and team members last week, and we made 3 cards, and I've broken them down into 3 separate videos so that I could share them with you on YouTube. I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever I upload new content. So this card I have to thank Kim Fee for. The tutorial I did were 3 cards. It was a beginner card, a casual crafter card, and an Avid Crafter card. And when I saw Kim's, the first 2 cards were my designs, but when I saw Kim's card, I went, oh, that's beautiful. So I wanted to recreate it. I changed it up oh so slightly, and I'm saying oh so slightly that it's Kim's card. I'm not going to take any credit for it. But let's get started. We're going to be using Sailing Home, and you're going to need a pen and paper. I'm going to play with the Stamparatus a little bit, and I'm going to give you some measurements. Okay, so let's get started and craft. Okay, so the card that we're going to be making is this one. Isn't that a beauty? And when I say oh so slightly, Kim's card, it was a different designer series paper and a different sentiment. She had happy birthday on hers. My goal was to use all the stamp sets that were in just this stamp set. So I used You Are My True North. And I think this would make a great male themed card, or any card that you just want to say to somebody, you are my everything. So let's get started, and I'm going to give you some dimensions. So we're going to use the lighthouse, the compass, the birds, and You Are My True North. You can put whatever you'd like on the inside. I left mine blank. Okay, so I've got my little cheat sheet here with the measurements. Oh, and for dies, we are going to use the rope, and that was in Crumb Cake. The wheel, the ship's wheel, which is in soft suede, and the lighthouse, which is in, sorry, I'm going back up. The rope, this is in, I might have said it right, soft suede. This was in Crumb Cake. This is going to be in Whisper White, and we're going to stamp that in soft suede because I wanted a little bit darker than just Crumb Cake. Okay. I think I might have confused you, but that's okay. We'll catch up. So the card opens this way, and it is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And I am just going to put that to the side so I don't get anything on it, because once the card's built, we will assemble it to the front. We are going to build it onto this piece of Whisper White that's 5 1/4 by 4. This card, I did it right. So this card used this designer series paper. Kim's I really liked. It was a striped, this from the same Come Sail With Me designer series paper. Let me just Come Sail Away designer series paper. Hers was with the blue and white striped. I didn't have any more of that left. So this card I'm going to use this piece, and we need a piece of designer series paper that's 3 by 2 1/2. You'll need a scrap cut off piece of Whisper White for the sentiment. I have already cut out the ship's wheel in soft suede, and I've already cut out the rope in Crumb Cake. And I'm going to get to the lighthouse in a minute, but I have already cut the lighthouse out in thick Whisper White, and I'm going to show you how I use the Stamparatus to stamp on that. So I want to get back to this piece of designer series paper, because we're going to go down to our grid paper, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not. I just have to close something there. So I'm down here in the bottom left hand corner, and so it's 3 inches. So I want to make a mark at 1 1/2 inch. And on the left and right, I'm going to make a mark at the 1 inch on the left and at the 1 inch on the right. And I'm going to get out my paper trimmer, because we're going to make it like, it's like a flag effect on the bottom. So I'm going to take, so I'm not sure if you can see those marks. So there's the one mark, there's the other mark, and there is the other mark. So I'm going to start off with the bottom mark that was at 1.5 inches. I'm going to put that in the middle of the groove, and I'm going to line up the 1 inch mark on the other side. Okay, so the 1.5 inch mark on the bottom is in one groove. The 1 inch mark on the side is in the other groove, and I am going to cut. And I'm going to do that the same with the other side. So there is the 1 inch mark on that side, and I'm going to 1 inch mark. So 1.5 inch mark in the center, the 1 inch mark in that groove, so it's in the track. And I'm going to cut like that. So you've got yourself a flag effect. If it is not perfect, and I'm not sure if mine is, yeah, it's pretty on. It's really not going to matter too much, because you're going to be putting elements on top of it. It's not even going to be seen if it's not totally aligned perfect. And now I'm going to just put some adhesive on here. And I'm going to keep it to the left, and I'm an eyeballer, so I'm just going to eyeball it. If you want it to make it really straight, you would take a ruler. Let me just get my ruler and put the ruler along here so that it's on that grid. This is why I like my grid paper. I'm not totally straight, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. There we go. I'm not totally straight, but that's okay. It's going to get covered up, right, folks? Now, before we get any further, I'm just going to do some simple stamping, and we're going to take the compass, and I want crumb cake for this. And I'm going to stamp the compass, and there is a north, south, east, west on this compass. So I want a little bit. That is crumb cake, right? A little bit. Where's the east, west? Oh, there it is. There we go. That's the compass. And then I'm going to take the birds, and I'm going to do a couple of birds. Maybe one there. Okay, that was all I needed. Yeah. And you know what I'm going to do? I am also, while I've got some ink out, I'm going to stamp my "You Are My True North" in Night of Navy, and that way I can put it aside and let it dry. And I really don't care if I'm straight, because I'm going to cut this, and I'm not straight, so, but I'm cutting it, so it doesn't matter. And I'll put that aside. Okay, now we're going to take our rope, and with some Tombow glue, we're just going to put on the back side, that's the back side, we're going to put some, oh man, is it going to come out? Sometimes, you know, the Tombow glue, there we go. We're going to put dot, 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 and don't put so much that it splays all over, and you end up with glue everywhere. But I'm just going to put dot, 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 and I'm just haphazardly going to put this down. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm sure there was with Kim's card, and now I'm going to take some linen thread and just wrap it around my fingers a couple of times. And with a dimensional, I'm just going to adhere it. It's curly, so it's kind of, you've got to get it so that now it's too much. I'm going to put it around twice. One, I did 3 times. I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to cut part off. Because it's curly, you've got to kind of straighten it out. So I'm just going to put one dimensional up at the top for now, and I'm going to leave the rest as is. Because now I'm going to break out the Stamparatus. So I have already die cut out, let me move this up just a bit. I've already die cut the lighthouse. I was like, what is this? In a Whisper White, thick Whisper White. And I like to use thick Whisper White for this technique. Let me see if the bottom is, oh no, the bottom is not clean either. Oh well, it's cleaner, I guess. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to put this kind of, maybe if I switch it over like that, it's upside down. I'm going to put this up at the top, and I am going to put my magnets like that. Now I'm going to take the lighthouse, which was I had used previously for another card, off the block, and I'm going to nest it. Like I had something stick on here and I can't get it off, so that's what that big white glob is. So I'm going to put and nest the lighthouse in there, and I'm going to just take it north, south, east, west. You can almost feel it kind of nest into that negative space. And I'm going to pick it up, and before I stamp, I'm going to take my soft suede, and I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to do a test. And I'm just going to test into here to see what I have, to see how close I was. What do you think? I think I need to move it just a titch. I need to move it down like that and over. And let me see how much, if this looks better. There we go. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the lighthouse that I have already die cut out, and it's in thick, and I'm going to lay it in here. This is a great technique if you're making multiples and you want to just keep, you don't want to have to worry about lining up every image that you stamp and die cutting it out. So once you get it lined up properly, you can just die cut a bunch of them out without stamping on them, and then do this technique and just keep plugging away. You don't want to smudge any ink. And there we go. There we have the lighthouse. Isn't it pretty? So that is an awesome technique. So that's what brings this card, makes this card a Avid Crafter card. Because I think sometimes, you know, maybe a beginner crafter might get frustrated with some of the techniques that we do to make things easier for us as Avid Crafters. And now I'm going to put this on top. So the top of the lighthouse is going to go on the top of that dimensional that's holding down the thread, and I'm going to put one in the middle and one on either side at the bottom. I have ink on my hands. Oh, I always have ink on my hands. I just hate it when it transfers to my cards, right? You've got a card, you think you've got a card all done and it's beautiful, and then you realize, oh man, that's why you put an embellishment over it, right? And I'm just going to lay this on top. Did I take, making sure it's kind of straight. Did I do this? I did. There we go. And you can catch some of the linen thread. The linen thread has a curl to it now because it's on a roll. So sometimes it's annoying. I love it most of the time. So I'm just going to tuck a couple of ends underneath so that it's not so floppy. That's my new technical term, floppy. There we go. I'm going to tuck some of the ends underneath so you'll see what I did. Okay. And now, you know, I'm going to mount this to the card front now before I get any more layers on top of it. There's not really that much more to do other than the ship's wheel and the sentiment, but the more layers you add, the harder it is to mount it on the top of your card. Okay, and like that. What to do? Oh, now we're going to take the ship's wheel, this guy here. And again, I'm going to take a piece of linen thread, because this is what Kim did. I guessed, because I analyzed her card. And I'm not sure how she did this, but this is what I came up with. I'm going to put the thread through one spoke, not through the hole in the middle, and then through the opposite spoke, like that. Oh, without getting it around the ship, the wheel, the handle. Okay, there we go, like that. And now I'm just going to tie a knot. A simple shoelace knot. Once over, like that. And then I love this linen thread. Oh, so happy that it's still in the new catalog. It's my go-to for embellishments. It goes a long way. I'm just going to trim an edge off. Now we need to straddle this. So I want to straddle half onto the lighthouse and half off. So I'm going to cut a really thin piece of dimensional. Oh, here I've got one cut. One that's already been started. I've started to cut. Dimensionals are one of those things, like they're all over my desk. And you go looking for them, you can't find them, so you get another new package. And before you know it, you've got all these half-eaten packages of dimensionals. And I'm going to put the dimensional on there like that. So on the back. And then on the other side, I'm going to put some Tombow glue because it is going to be on top of, there we go, on top of, oops, you can't see, of the lighthouse. Sometimes my mind stops working and it's like, what is that? What is that? I know I'm not the only one. So there's the lighthouse on top of, the ship's wheel on top of the lighthouse and then partially onto the other. And then the last thing we're going to do is You Are My True North. And it's not straight, folks, but I don't care. So You Are My, we're going to cut here. And now, this is why I don't care, because I'm going to trim it down. And I'm going to just eyeball it and trim it all in one go. And then eyeball it and trim it. There's You Are My. And then True North, we're going to do the exact same thing. So when you, sometimes I have a hard time getting stamps that are long and skinny. I have a hard time getting them straight. This is the answer. It's cheating. There we go. And I'm going to cut again some dimensionals. And if I had minis, I keep saying I have to put an order in for minis. And I put my order in and I forget my minis. So I'm just going to put dimensional on You Are My. And again, True North. Whoops, 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 whoops. Is that long enough? Yeah, it is. There we go. Okay, and now we are going to put, I'm going to put You Are My True North first down, because it kind of goes just above that, the rope. True North. Is that straight? And You Are My. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. And then we're going to put You Are My. There we go. That is my Kim Fee inspired card. Thank you, Kim. I absolutely loved it and I wanted to recreate it. So this was the one with the different designer series paper. And then this one was with the darker designer series paper. I like them both. I really liked Kim's card. She used the striped and it was very nautical and I really liked it. But I did not have, I'm trying to get over, there we go. I didn't have any more of that designer series paper left. So that's the card. Isn't that pretty? I loved it. Thanks, Kim, for your inspiration. So that's the third card in my Simple Stamping Sunday Plus Facebook page, on my VIP Facebook page. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please give me a thumbs up and like this tutorial, and it will encourage me to do more and to share the love of creativity with you, because I really love what I do. Again, my name is Elizabeth, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. You can find me on elizgreen.stampinup.net. That is my online store. And you can follow me on stampscrapandmore.com or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and here on YouTube. Take care and have a great day.